Tonight on CFTK-TV News, a new search and rescue team deploys to search for Tom Kelly, the Air Canada strike ramps up, and Canada's on the market for a new fleet of submarines.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK-TV News.
Hello, and thanks for joining us on this Friday, August 15th, 2025. I'm Jaylene Matthews. We'll begin tonight with our news that's local to the Northwest. A nonprofit search and rescue team from Manitoba, known as the Hatarian Emergency Aquatic Response Team, or HART, has come to Terrace to follow up on a search that began in July. Thomas Kelly was fishing on the Skeena River on July 12th when he was swept away by the water, and despite many efforts to locate him, he has not been found. Local RCMP ended up suspending the search a couple days after it began due to high waters, but now HART has arrived to give it a boost with their dive team and specialized tools like sonar and a special underwater remote-operated vehicle. HART is also collecting for financial donations for this search on their Facebook page. They say they expect it to be quite challenging and they're looking for all the help they can get. A local film group recently showed off the culmination of a multi-part project that told the stories of local artists and was in the works for several years. CFTK-TV's Cale Maslin reports.
Last night saw the Outdoor Artist Collective hold a screening at Terrace's Skeena Diversity Building for the final 2 episodes of their Creative Voices of Change documentary series. And this time, the episodes focused on local artists Carrie Morgan and Stan Bevan, and like the earlier parts of the series, both artists got to reveal a bit of their backstory, along with how they go about doing their work. While both artists had seen their episodes before, they described what the viewing experience was like with an audience this time around.
It's really different watching a video with a group of people. It made it all look different.
It was really nice to be amongst a bunch of people while they got to watch our videos and see our faces so large. And to hear everybody's feedback on our videos was lovely.
Although the videos have finally finished airing publicly, there will be more parts from the series coming in the future, but in a different format.
There's a brand new podcast. It's coming out next year through the Tell a Story Hive program, also up on YouTube. And it's in the same vein as the Creative Voices of Change documentaries. It's talking to artists around the region, but it's a more informal conversation. And this time it's really been digging into this first series. It's really been digging into artists' relationship with seasons and how they view themselves interacting with their community and sort of the responsibility that comes with all of that process, that artistic process and that social process.
The videos are available to view on both YouTube as well as an online portal created by Tell a Story Hive, a program that focuses on helping underrepresented communities in BC and Alberta tell their stories. The co-founders of the collective also shared what they believed was the biggest thing they learned from doing this series.
We get to interact with a lot of people that are really engaged and working across the region with a lot of different people and using their art to uplift a variety of communities. And so I think just getting different perspectives on that as we go along is pretty profound.
I feel like I maybe saw it all in the area. I'm like, okay, yeah, like Terrace, we know everybody is great. And then there's always somebody new or some new ideas. And I keep getting surprised. And I love this project for this.
And while it isn't 100% confirmed yet, the collective has discussed doing a future project in tandem with Skeena Diversity and Terrace that asks people living in the city about how they live during the winter and what they consider their relationship with the season to be like. For CFTK-TV News, I'm Cale Maslin.
A First Nation in British Columbia says ground-penetrating radar has detected some 41 additional unmarked graves on the site of a former residential school. The Shisha First Nation on BC's Sunshine Coast says a team has been scanning the grounds of the St. Augustine's residential school site for the last 18 months. The discovery of additional possible graves brings the total number of suspected graves to 81. The Te-Kamloops Suetmuk First Nation in Kamloops were the first to announce the discovery of more than 200 possible unmarked graves in May 2021. Coming up next, canceled flights on the horizon for Air Canada. The union representing 10,000 Air Canada pilots says 59% of Canadians believe the federal government should respect flight attendants' right to take job action, even if it causes travel disruptions. The Air Canada component of QP has released new polling by Abacus Data, which surveyed 1,500 respondents. It found 88% of Canadians believe flight attendants should be paid for all work-related duties, a key sticking point in the negotiations that has led to the impasse. The flight attendants could walk off the job just shortly after 1 a.m. Eastern if a deal between the airline and union isn't reached at the 11th hour, resulting in a complete work stoppage. Those who may end up getting their flights canceled by Air Canada due to the strike, according to experts, won't be completely out of luck. Here's CTV's Adrian Gabriel with more.
Labor stoppage or not, you should still be able to get off the ground, according to industry watchers.
If you already have an Air Canada ticket booked and paid for, then Air Canada has to buy you a ticket.
In the case of an active strike, which is classified as outside an airline's control, large companies such as Air Canada are required by legislation to rebook customers on a new reservation for the next available flight that is operated by any carrier.
Any carrier means any airline, including but not limited to the airline's competitors.
On their website, Air Canada says customers whose flights are canceled will be notified and they will be eligible for a full refund. Air passenger rights advocates are advising customers against accepting a reimbursement.
One important thing to remember is do not accept a refund. Refund can be a way for airlines to wash their hands from their obligations to rebook you.
If you don't have a ticket and are looking to book travel in or out of Canada over the next several days, you might be in for a shock. The cheapest round-trip ticket departing Toronto tomorrow and returning from Vancouver next Friday costs more than $1,300. The same week-long round-trip ticket leaving September 5th, returning September 12th, is going for as little as $273. It all comes down to supply and demand that influences strategic pricing by the airlines.
Last-minute ticket prices, which always tend to be higher, and a substantial sudden increase in demand that is pushing prices up due to what might be a strike at Air Canada.
Again, if your flight is canceled by Air Canada, they're obligated to purchase you another ticket to your destination. If they refuse, consumer advocates say you could purchase one yourself and flip Air Canada the bill. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Canadian officials say pushing for a cap on plastic production during the negotiation of a global treaty to end plastic pollution wouldn't have worked because the measure wouldn't have been adopted. The sixth round of talks wrapped up in Geneva without a consensus on a legally binding international treaty to end plastic waste by 2040. The negotiations started in 2022, and Canada has been instrumental in bringing countries to the table, but countries continue to argue about how far the agreement should go. Less than 1/10 of all plastic thrown out is recycled, and more than 1/5 ends up in the environment and becomes harmful to people and other living things. Decisions at the grocery store have been very strongly politically influenced this year. CTV's Bob Belichico looks into whether Canadians are still compelled to buy local.
Yeah, we're definitely buying Canadian. We're definitely buying in Canada.
The push to buy Canadian at grocery stores is still going strong, but according to Metro, one of the country's top grocers, and smaller stores like Fred's Farm Fresh, that movement may be losing a bit of momentum.
They got that taste in their mouth, you know, with Trump and all that other stuff. And I think they're still trying to, but it's not as important as it was, say, 6 months ago or 7 months ago.
Shoppers may not be as engaged with the slogan, but some say they are definitely committed to buying Canadian.
I think that people really do want to see Windsor especially and Canada in general to, produce what they need and make sure that we buy our things so that we are promoting our own people.
Instead of buying into the slogan of being Canadian, buy into your culture, your local people. Go out and say hello to your friends. See your local butcher, your local market. Have a conversation.
Shoppers know that American products are on the shelf and are sometimes left with a decision.
I'm debating this purchase. I am. If I had a garden, I'd have my own.
Fred Bouzide says Canadian-grown food is good, but sometimes isn't as good as American-grown.
For example, watermelons coming out of Canada, they're very good, but they don't compare like to Texas or Georgia watermelons. They're incredibly sweet. They're very good.
Bouzide supports the Buy Canadian movement, but says tariffs are affecting the bottom line.
I mean, they put tariffs on certain things, on watermelons and a different kind of fruit that we're bringing in, and we've had to raise our prices, and we're not selling as much as we used to.
Tariffs have also forced Bouzide and other grocers to change the way they purchase products.
Lemons, for example, coming out of California, certain price. Now we're getting them out of Argentina or Spain or something like that. So it's a further away. The prices got to be higher because of shipping costs.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
And next we'll take a look at your Northwest BC weather report. Tonight on the North Coast, expect showers. Winds becoming southeast at 20 kilometers an hour, gusting to 40 before morning. Temperature steady near 14 degrees. Over the next few days on the North Coast, expect more showers and rain right through the weekend. Highs between 14 and 16 degrees, overnight lows between 10 and 12 degrees. Tonight in the Terrace-Kitimat area, expect showers. Winds from the northeast at 20 kilometers an hour, becoming south and gusting to 40 this evening. Temperatures steady near 13 degrees. Over the next few days in the Terrace-Kitimat area, expect it to stay pretty wet even into next week. Daily highs 15 to 17 degrees, lows around 10-11 degrees. Tonight in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, expect periods of rain, a risk of a thunderstorm early this evening, amounting up to 5 to 10 millimeters, a low of 10 degrees. Over the next few days in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, expect showers to likely continue into next week as well. Daily highs around 16-17 degrees, overnight lows between 6 and 9 degrees. Next, let's take a look at your Northwest highways. On Highway 16, there's construction in Prince Rupert with a detour in effect. There's bridge maintenance, road sweeping, utility work, shoulder maintenance, and paving operations to watch out for. On Highway 37, watch for bridge construction. On Highway 37A, there's paving operations going on, as well as a section with falling rocks. And this is what the roads were looking like this afternoon around the region from the view of the province's highway cams. Still to come, Canada's on the market for a new fleet of submarines. Canada is on the market for a new fleet of submarines, and companies from around the globe have thrown their hats in the ring for a chance to build them. CTV's Judy Trin has the story.
Only one of Canada's submarines is surveilling the deep seas. The other 3 subs under maintenance, making it difficult to meet military obligations.
It means that we've got 3 oceans to defend and we have 1 that we can cover. And because we've struggled to get these submarines operational.
All of Canada's submarines were built in the 1980s and will be too old in a decade. The Navy says it requires 12 new conventional diesel-electric powered submarines in order to effectively patrol the oceans and train its officers. Companies from France, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, and a joint venture from Germany and Norway say they can meet those requirements.
Submarine will be diving in 1 minute.
The government plans to decide on a supplier by 2028, but the Navy's top commander wants the timeline moved up by 2 years.
I'd like a shortlist even sooner than that, and I'd like a decision by the end of the year. I think we can get, it's going to be a lot of work.
The most ambitious pitch came from a South Korean company, Hanwha, which already has vessels in production, says it can deliver the first submarine to Canada by 2032 and one per year after that.
We produce ships and submarines at 40 plus ships and submarines a year. We believe that as we're already producing these are the same submarines that are in use operating right now with the Korean Navy.
But the federal government is looking for more than just speed. The deal will be leveraged to boost the economy.
The lowering of trade barriers, access to markets, commitments to invest in Canada. It could be based on the final decision could be based on a whole lot of non-military factors.
Each submarine will cost about $2 billion to build. The U.S. is not a factor in this decision because it doesn't make conventional submarines, only nuclear ones. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin are in Alaska for a highly anticipated meeting. CTV's Rachel Aiello has more.
Final preparations are underway in Alaska at the U.S. military base where the high-stakes summit aimed at ending the war in Ukraine is taking place.
I want to see if I can stop the killing.
U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin will sit down face-to-face. Putin called Trump's efforts to stop hostilities energetic and sincere, though Trump tempered expectations.
I'll know within the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, or 5 minutes, like we tend to find out, whether or not we're going to have a good meeting or a bad meeting. And if it's a bad meeting, it'll end very quickly. And if it's a good meeting, we're going to end up getting peace in the pretty near future.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky won't be in Anchorage, but Trump said he's keen to convene a second summit with the three of them and perhaps other European leaders very quickly after.
I'd like to see it actually happen, maybe in Alaska.
Zelensky met with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and the pair emerged optimistic about the chance for peace, so long as Putin agrees to a ceasefire deal that protects Ukraine's territorial integrity.
If President Trump somehow manages to cajole that out of them, that will be the best possible outcome.
Asked if he thinks the summit and the incentives for peace being put on the table could end up rewarding the Russians for invading Ukraine, Trump said no. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Turning to the markets now, Canada's main stock index edged lower to cap off the trading session, weighed down by losses in technology stocks, while U.S. markets were mixed. The Canadian dollar had no change. The price of gold dropped 60 cents. Oil fell $1.05. Natural gas rose by 8 cents. Aluminum dropped $17.50. In Toronto, the TSX dropped $10.50. The Venture Index rose by close to 11 points. In New York, the Dow Jones rose by. Still ahead, how one family turned vandalism into art. The Pan American Health Organization says Canada has the highest number of measles cases on the continent. As of August 8th, the regional agency has recorded over 10,000 cases of measles across 10 countries. Canada leads the pack with 4,500 cases, particularly in Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, and Ontario. The agency says more action is needed to address low vaccination rates. A new study out of the University of the Fraser Valley has found a way to potentially improve the reaction strawberries have to heat waves. CTV's Yasmin Gandam reports.
Research out of the University of the Fraser Valley found melatonin reduces heat stress in alpine strawberries, increasing the resilience of the fruit.
Oh my goodness, this is crazy.
It was really exciting.
Student researcher Emily Foster discovered berries that did not have melatonin in 30-degree weather saw a 30% survival rate, whereas the ones that had it.
And one cultivar had 56% survival and the other had 83%. So they were both significantly increased with added melatonin.
Foster says she plans to expand on her research in the fall and hopes it could be a tool for local farmers.
It's very likely that they will also use melatonin in the same way. My research is more of like a stepping stone. It's a first spot to start.
Melatonin is an antioxidant and helps protect the plant tissue. Rahul Singh is the director of SFU's Agritech Innovation Program. He says Foster's research is promising.
By significantly reducing leaf yellowing and drop off under 35 degrees, this approach can really safeguard strawberries yields in BC and other regions that are increasingly prone to heat waves.
It's something local farmers are also eager about, given the challenges they faced over the years dealing with drought and extreme heat.
And along with the heat stress, melatonin does actually help slow ripening as well. So some of the issues that strawberry farmers do have when it gets so hot is that the strawberries are getting ready too quick.
Amir Mann is a farmer at Mann Farms. He says strawberries have been the best they've been in a long time, but all that could change.
Outdoor in the field, we definitely could do a trial plot of even a few rows or even one of the houses that we have here.
Foster hopes this research can help farmers like Mann who have hoped for a magic solution to unforeseen circumstances, such as the weather. Yasmin Gandam, CTV News, Vancouver.
One Ontario family had the gumption to turn a gross piece of vandalism on their property into a heartwarming piece of art. Here's CTV's Frusina Declote.
A Yorkton family started the week with a shocking discovery.
So my son Ben discovered this first thing in the morning. He leaves for work at 6 a.m. and so he took a picture and sent it to me, and that's what I woke up to.
Overnight, homophobic slurs were spray painted on their garage door and house front.
I don't think we were super upset at the time, but my daughter was. Especially the words that they used were so ugly.
After giving it some thought, the family decided not to remove the hateful words, instead transforming what intended to hurt and harm into something beautiful and positive.
We are proud of who we are. We're proud of ourselves as a family, and we're proud of the 2S LGBTQ plus people in our family and in our community and our friends. And the person that did this is the person that should feel ashamed and small and ugly, not us.
The mayor of Yorkton says hate has no place here.
Any vandalism is wrong and is a crime, but when you tie in that type of hate with the vandalism, it's completely unacceptable and really is disappointing from my place as mayor, and I think for most of the residents of our community, if not all the residents of our community, it's a very disappointing thing to see happen.
Neighbors, friends, colleagues, and schoolmates are showing a tremendous amount of support for the family, proving that after every storm comes a rainbow.
Yeah, it was just a lot of people came to me, like more than I expected, and to be as upset as they were, it made me feel like a part of a community that actually cared about me and understood me. So that was actually really nice.
The family says the incident has been reported to the RCMP. Frusina Declote, CTV News, Yorkton.
That's our news for now. For more local news, you can visit us at CFTK-TV.com. All of our newscasts also go up on our YouTube and TikTok pages. Thanks for watching.